So I want to talk to you a little bit about this morning is signature lines in LLCs. So it may not seem like a huge deal. When you sign something, you put you as the individual, write your name out, sign your name, date it, and you're done, right? Well, when you're working with an LLC, one of the things that we like to harp on in our meetings with clients is focusing on what your role is as the signer. So as a signer, are you signing as the member? Are you signing as the manager? Or are you signing as just an individual who works at the company, works at the LLC? So this is one of those things that we talk about. We talk about wearing hats. So I tell my clients, you need to think about, you've got all these different hats on the table. Now let's say you're running a manager-managed LLC in Texas, right? Well, if you're running a manager-managed LLC and you're the manager, not only are you the manager, you're probably also a member, and then you also probably work at the company. So you perform tasks, you are a professional if you're there, or if you are the property manager, you're doing those kind of things. Just running the business itself. So when you wear a hat, you are a manager, all right? So you're wearing the manager hat right now. And when you wear that manager hat, you sign as the manager, okay? So a manager can do things like manage the company, so he can go out and form a bank account on behalf of the LLC. Okay, so he goes to the bank and he forms a bank account. Should he sign as the professional that's working at the company? Should he sign as a member or sign as a manager? Sign as a manager, right? So when he writes that down, what we want to make sure that that individual does is they sign Nate Gilbert, Law Office Nathaniel Gilbert, up PLLC manager. Okay, so that title is important to put after it. Now there's other things you can do as a member, right? So as a member, you might vote on resolutions to make changes to the operating agreement, to admit additional members. Those are the purview of the members. So in your operating agreement, it probably says, I know in mine it does, that the members are authorized to do things that the manager is not, such as make changes to the operating agreement, admit additional members, change the registered agent, whatever that is. That usually requires a unanimous or majority vote of the members. So when you sign that corporate resolution and when you vote, you're not voting as the manager, right? So you got to take that hat off and you got to put another one on for your member hat, all right? So you sign as a member. So Nate Gilbert, Law Office Nathaniel Gilbert, LLC, PLLC, member, right? That's what you need to do. Now the other part of this is you also work at the company, right? You're also an individual that's performing services, whether you're behind a cash register, behind a desk, or you're a physician giving exams, you're an individual that works at that PLLC, LLC, Series LLC, whatever it is, you're an individual that works there. So one of the examples I always give my clients is reimbursement. So if you have, say, business expenses that you need to have reimbursed by the PLLC, the LLC, the Series LLC, whatever it is. Let's say it's a PLLC like mine and you work at a law firm, it's a PLLC, you're also a member of that PLLC and you're the manager, all right? So you've got three hats, all right? Manager, member, professional. So you go to a conference and it's a lawyer conference and all these lawyers are having a great time. I don't know why they would be, but that's what we're doing in this example. And you have expense receipts that you'd like to submit to the PLLC, all right? So you need to submit those as an individual. When you submit those, you are submitting as the individual that works there, not as the member, not as the manager. We're not reimbursing member or manager expenses. We're reimbursing individual professional expenses, okay? So that goes for everything else. So if you're an individual that writes a check to pay for a steam cleaner for your mobile car detailing business, you want to have that reimbursed by the company. So you need to submit those receipts. And it may seem silly. You may be a single member LLC and you're sitting here submitting receipts to yourself and you're signing it on this side and then the manager is writing a check and you're doing this all back and forth to yourself or online as it may be to submit those receipts and transfer money back and forth, signing a corporate resolution saying, yes, we reimburse these expenses for the manager or we reimburse these expenses for a professional, however it is. Whatever you're doing, whenever you're doing anything for your LLC, your entity, your company, whatever it is, think about who is performing that action, okay? Is it a member? Is it a manager? Is it just a guy that works at the PLLC? You need to think about that and put after your name, comma, member, comma, manager, or just your name. And that's something to really think about when you're doing any kind of business management. Okay, that's something that we're going to look at when we talk to you about your entity formation. That's something that we're going to go through really in detail and try to make sure everybody that's at the company understands when you're doing certain things, you're acting as that individual in that capacity. So I hope that was a little bit helpful. It may have muddied the waters where we didn't need to a little bit, but hey, what are attorneys for other than to say it depends and give you long-winded answers to things you never even thought to ask in the first place. But that's kind of something I wanted to talk about today, and we'll look at some other finer details of corporate management in a different video.